Check out all the grow gear at acinfinity.com and use coupon code DUDEGROWS for a great deal. That's acinfinity.com. Coupon code DUDEGROWS. All right, let's get back to learning some growth. All right, who doesn't like to save money and grow money, Scotty?
Yeah, I want to save money while growing the dank, brother.
I love it. I love it. First one we'll touch on quickly. It's very obvious. If you have the ability to grow outside, it's going to be the most affordable, right? I'm not getting equipment. We're getting a pot. We're getting some genetics. You know, maybe you want to build a shelter. You could invest in building a little bit of rain coverage or something. But otherwise, the sun, you can't beat the sun.
No, I mean, it's free electricity. It's free electricity. It is free light, and it is free environment. You know, aren't those things where it costs us a lot of money to set up and then maintain? But those are good and bad, right? We can't control the light schedule, and then we can't control the environment.
That's why when I grew in Colorado, I grew every season, and I knew right away I had to have shelter over my flower strictly because of hail. My tip would be, I'm a fan of autos for outdoors, a 3 or 5 gallon pot that if you know some weather's coming or you want to move it under shelter, have a couple on your patio, have a couple on your deck, your front porch, conversation starters. You have to lose them. Not a huge financial loss or anything. It's a great way to go because with autos you can finish a bit earlier than your fall season and having to worry about frost and whatnot.
Man, I worry about autos. Autos are unforgiving. Something happens to autos, you can't just let them beg for a couple weeks longer. So I still remember my goal is plant these auto flower seeds, it says, all right? I'm going to do it.
You've got a sticky note. Love it. Next tip, let's take it indoors then, all right? The tent that we recommend, get a grow tent, a 2x4 grow tent, minimum size, so you can pull some weight, hopefully 6 to 8 ounces of harvest, you think? On a 2x4, is that too much?
That's with a heavy yielder, but I don't know, Grandpa, you're a tank grower, right?
Yeah, I always used lower watt LEDs, so I was never maximizing the tents. I was more just hunting for flavors.
I guess if you had heavy yielder vegetable long enough, you can get 4 ounces per plant out of a, so a 2x4, that's a half pound. I'll go 3 ounces.
I recommend that. That's you get all-in-one kits. Shout out if you didn't hear the beginning of the show. AC Infinity, full kits, like everything down to the containers, the straw net, the fan, the carbon filter, the controller, the tent. You get a full 2x4 kit for like $600 for Dude Grows over at AC Infinity. It's all good gear. It's not crap. It used to be these kits. We never recommended it. We listened to our other show. Like, you're going to get ripped off, man. Full kits were not a good deal, and it wasn't good equipment until now. So definitely check them out.
Yes, buy once, cry once. Remember, help me with math if you would, man. If you're making 8 ounces out of every harvest, and it takes you 2 months to do a harvest, how many ounces do you get a week? One.
My dog.
The answer is one.
My dog ate my homework.
Not an ounce a week from a 2x4. I mean, you probably need something to put back in there, do a little perpetual, but that's plenty of weight, man.
If you can't, let's say you don't want to get a tent, even if you just want to buy an outfitted 2x4, it's only like $170 probably. But if you have, I'm a fan of this. I've seen some awesome bathroom grows. The bathroom has a drain, it has a water source, then it has an exhaust fan. So if you have a bathroom you're not using, or maybe you still use it to go potty, and you sit there and you look at the plants that are hanging out, and you give them some CO2. But bathrooms and closets make good small grow spaces if you have the option to deck one out.
With CO2 and methane? Is that how that goes?
Plants, yeah, you get the dank stank on the day.
I love it. I love it.
Clones. This was your tip, Scotty, man. Why do we want to keep buying more plants, seeds, and genetics? They're not cheap.
Yeah, it's true, man. A proven winner clone. I mean, heck yeah, you keep that thing, or you buy it once, or you grow it once. You got that thing for as long as you want, so you retire it, right? No more buying clones, man.
I mean, you do have to have, if you're going to keep your own cloning game going, a little bit of space. I mean, technically, so you can take clones from your plants, put them in blue. Not the tops, side branches or lowers, clones rooted. But eventually you're going to run out of space to maintain those if you only have one grow area.
Yeah.
In clone from both clones, again, I've done this, and then you'll have clones ready. You can maintain all of that inside of a compound environment.
Yes.
But if you have a growing buddy or somebody else that has space just to keep one mom not Nick. I have the small clone tent, only like $140.
There's your there's your bathroom grow though. Shoot, keep a clone dome and a couple clone domes with some 1 gallon containers or some solo cups. Get them ready so you can have closer to a perpetual harvest. But yeah, there you go. That's what you can do in your bathroom.
No, well, that's another thing. If you don't care about light cycle, I mean, I don't know why autos are coming to mind more. That's a tip that I could give. Sometimes it's easier because when you go to 12, autos always use the same light cycle. So you can have various days. You can have flower, you can have veg, you can have whatever in your 18-hour life cycle. Or Scotty had mentioned earlier, they're not as forgiving for newer growers. They can be tricky to deal with, but the genetics have come a long way as far as flower quality.
All right. All right, you've turned my head on autos, man. I'm going to plant these now, dude, all right?
Give us some of your cheap, I don't want to say cheap, affordable grow tips. Don't tell me you're going to dig the dirt out of your yard, though. I don't want to hear that one. But if you guys have some hacks to help us save money, leave us comments below.
Yes, and come on, if you like this video, do what dude said, man. Leave us a comment below. Also hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed, and watch another one of the videos YouTube's recommending. I say you'll dig them over there. No, they're over there, man.
What's flower, right? Most growers ask, how many weeks should I veg? But top growers know that these are the signs to look for. In this video, we're going to get into it. But first, check this out. You know what? You got to respect the drying, curing, and storage phase of growing. And the biggest game changer is here. Anatrols.com/newgrows. Anatrols drying unit takes all guesswork out of it, stores it, cures it, tested by yours truly, trusted by the DGC. And my favorite thing is when you're done, you can just let it store there. As long as you need, just take out a little bud at a time. Check them out. Anatrol.com/newgrows. All right, let's get into some grow talk. What do you decide flowers, Scotty? This one doesn't have a lot of factors at play, I think. There's a lot of different grow styles to this.
Yeah, grow style, legality, and even power. I mean, it costs a lot more to grow big veg plants, no? We get into it.
Yeah. I mean, well, we can start there for sure. I mean, the longer you veg, the longer you have a cycle. Your 18-hour light cycle, you're paid for 6 hours more of light than 12. The first one you mentioned, plant count, You're in a state, what is it, Colorado, for example? 6 plants per person per household, 12 plants, I think, on the right side.
All right. 6 in veg, 6 in flower. Yeah, that's what I think. Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty good here where I live. And it's better than Eagle, which is really cool. They like to have 4 plants. Keep running this crap. But, go ahead.
If you're talking flower time and you want to stay within the limits of the law, or at least here, you would really be limited to growing. If you have to grow 6 flowering plants, they take twice as much time as the veg, right? Say you veg for a month, you flower for 2 months.
That's the standard. I think that's the standard I've always heard.
Yeah.
Veg for a month, bloom for 2. Of course, you're going to bloom more than 2 months, depending on strain. But I go quicker. If you have a higher plant count, I'd rather have more smaller plants, 3 gals, than a bunch of less 7 gals. I don't like the longer veg time. Like you said before, one negative thing about a longer veg time would be maintenance, nutrition, bug pressure, IPM threshold. Like, the longer something's hanging out, eventually something could find it. So, more problems can happen in a longer veg.
Yeah, definitely, man. But it really comes down to, A, are you doing perpetual harvest? If you're doing perpetual harvest, then you absolutely have to, you're flowering and you're vegging for 1 month, right? That's all you can do, because you got to keep your flower filled. But if you're just doing a single tent or whatever, it really does depend on how much weed you need. How big are these? You can grow 1 plant, in a 3 or a 5-gallon container. I do it with the real buckets. You can grow a giant plant that will fill definitely a 2x2. 2 of them that are 2x4. 100%. But it takes longer to do, and it's 18 hours of light and air conditioning. I mean, that is substantially more expensive.
The trimming time goes up. Big bushes equal more trimming versus smaller plants. Fewer top prime.
Yeah. I love right about that. What a joy it is to, just take that big with 4 colas and trim it up, hang it intact.
You can also run into problems though, as far as one bigger plant is, or two. I'd rather have six in case one develops some type of problem or fire. I mean, it usually doesn't happen, but if I ever have, I think generally everything is on one plant.
Rambo talks about this all the time, but he's trying to sell me that whole life insurance diversification of risk. I'm gonna just really no, but for real, you got 6 plants. One of them, sometimes one of them goes weird. I've had it, man. I had 6 legal plants in my grow up over there. One of them went weird. I could not figure out. It's the same emergency as everything else, so I had the luxury of pulling it, and now I have 5 legal plants.
I like it. I like it. That gives you options. Another tip here, plant when you're gonna go flip, don't flip plants that have any bugs, obviously. If you have unhealthy plants, if you recently transplanted or topped your plants, you gotta give them a little time, man. A little time to get into the, full throttle to go in the flower. First, what I said there was bugs, that is super important. Take bugs or problems in the flower, reach stages of growth where treatment options are limited, aka spraying things onto your flowers.
It's such a good point, man, that these are on a countdown. Once they're vegetative, they're growing nice and aggressively. When you click that light back, it's an annual, and it is on a countdown to dying. It is trying to make a seed, and then it is going to die. So it is going to get weaker and weaker. That's why blasting the lights up the last 7 or 5 days, I don't really think it makes much of a difference because this plant is weak at that point. And so, yeah, just remember that. So, veg is when you want to get all that non-flower up plant that is thick. Even if it just had drought stress for a little bit, and the leaves are a little bit yellow. Take an extra week in veg, get that thing, that lady to where she's really healthy, and then flip it to flower. That's the design. I could probably, I guess I don't, but now that you say it, we're seeing everything, not done. We're seeing nicely.
The another couple tips here I mentioned if you recently transplanted, if you do have a plant that is fairly root bound, it is a good idea to up pot that before flowering. Plants will still push the root zone out like the first month of flowering, especially the first few weeks during heavy transition. So I recently just went from a very root bound one. So I'm just trying to find the sex of plants over to a 3 gal. I'm going to go right into flowering with it. By the time I harvest it, that will fill out that zone. So we don't take tray or root-bound plants in the wood. You'll be chasing after.
How much bigger do you think it grows there? Because the cannabis plant, I mean, they'll stretch like crazy in flower. So if you've got, who was it? What somebody was saying in the comments, 75% of their canopy. There you go, Big Macker. I keep them in veg until the trellis net is 75% full. Yeah, that's probably about right. Probably about
Yeah, if you're a trellis grower, which I'm not, that's a good tip as far as you definitely don't want to flip until you get that plant starting to weave in and out.
Yeah.
I like a comment from, these are from our Real DDC guys. We put these questions up every week for anybody to comment on and help us produce the show. So thanks, McMacker66. Rather, ATO, rather be token. I got it. This is an important one. He says, what makes me decide what I should flip is my tent height, man. Like some tents are 7 foot, some tents can be 5 foot, yeah, some tents can only be 4 foot tall, and you got a big stretch to handle. This is a good point. Rather be token thing.
Yeah, plant height is huge. So, like you can mess with trellis, the bamboo stakes, all that you can do to control plant height if you do need to keep a plant in veg for another week or so.
What about fly high? Holy cow. Holy crow. Fly high, holy crow. This is like my style. Scotty doesn't like it sometimes. It's just like bro talk. I let the plants speak to me. When they look nice and full, lots of nodes exposed to light and good branching, solid root mass, and nice thick stems support the hefty nugs. Learn to listen to your plants until you they're ready to sleep.
I don't like that. That is the smartest advice ever. I realize they're not actually speaking with their mouths, all right? they're communicating. Your plant will tell you. Yes, you can see if it's got some little wispy leaves. You're like, no, that's not going to make big giant buds. How's the color? Is it, is it got that deep green that looks like it's got a bunch of reserves in the tank? That's what you're looking for when you go in the flower.
I got one more comment here from Associate Mother effing the truth. What's up, Retro? Thanks for stepping up there, buddy. Retro says, I wait for the eighth node. I wait for the eighth node. Like, that's a code. I mean, nodes for each little branch comes out and you count them with a single stem.
Sure. Yeah, I don't know, because some nodes that I have a bud sticking up, and then there's some nodes that look like it was going to be large, so I cut off. So I'm looking at branches. How many flowering sites, how many tops do I have? And then, I'm looking at canopy. What am I trying to fill here? Do I have one plant, two plants that I'm trying to fill a 2x4 with? Or do I have a cloning chamber full of 8 plants? And I'm like, what am I going to do with these? If I got that cloning chamber, I'm flipping them after 10 days. Real DGC.
gotta wait.
I have solo cups that were planted exactly 14 days, and then afterwards, you don't have to show it, Grandpa. You have to go on over there. You will have to go there yourself, but it's 14 days later, these plants are ready to flip. I mean, if you're going to grow with CO2 and a lot of light, or just a lot of light, within 2 weeks, you can grow a hell of a veg plant.
That was going to be my fun pro tip. I know a lot of the BBC have a lot, but some will have an extra. I heard somebody, I forgot their name, called, they have their fun tent. Where they experiment with different things. And I've done seeds on a 12-12 light cycle. I've done a 2-week veg before. And when I cut out both those experiments, I was over-vegging at vegging for a month. Maybe it's not true for you and your growth, but if you have the opportunity just to say, hey, let's take this down. Let's try it 3 weeks instead of a month. And see if that month is really paying off.
And top, too. It is so much fun to let a plant grow so it's a big bush, and then top the center of it and just watch all those colas, man. The colas, Grandpa.
That would be my final thought. I can think of I'm almost always topping at least once before going in, taking out the center of cola. I can't think of any plants I have not done that with. So make sure you take the time to top and then wait. How long do you wait after top? 10 days?
I gotta be honest, you don't have to. You're supposed to, yes, if I'm actually being recorded, 7 to 10 days after top. Then, and then flip them to flower the next day. These plants want to grow. These are the craziest hybrids of a plant that already wanted to grow naturally. So, I mean, all the rules don't totally, you can bend a lot of the rules with cannabis.
All right. What about you people? Give me some comments. I can't say that. What about you growers? What's up? Leave some comments on your tips. When you follow solid, cycle, I definitely flip at this point. And if you guys have done the short veg, what's the shortest veg you've done? I want to hear.
Hey, come on, y'all. This was fun. If you had a good time, please hit the like button, hit that subscribe button, share this one with another grower you know, and the most important thing, Grandma, they got to check out the other videos YouTube's recommended. It knows.
Giant healthy buds, right? What if I told you stressing them out actually makes them stronger? But it's got to be the right kind of stress. In this video, we're going to teach you step by step our top 3 stress techniques to increase yield and quality. But first, check this out. Have you ever effed up your cure? I did, relying on the wife when out of town, so I couldn't get the proper burping intervals. Now you can take all the guesswork out with Vivi Cure Packs. It's Boveda's new name in cannabis, same product, same performance with a new look and feel. With Vivi Cure Packs, you can enjoy an expert cure in only 10 days with no burping required. That is huge. They're cost-effective and ideal for growers of any experience level. So make sure you check out ViviPacks.com to get that perfect cure today. All right, let's get into three. There's lots of them, but stress techniques that actually work in your growth. Let's talk grow, man. First one here, I want to get into is a dry back. Dry back, which sounds kind of fancy, but it's just like watering correctly, right?
Yeah. You know what? No, watering correctly, I think would mean, I guess it depends but it means just leaving a little bit of time between your watering, so it's not always saturated. When the plant's saturated, it doesn't have to reach for water. When you let it dry out a little bit, it has to extend those root tips to looking a little grow bosses for water.
Yeah, if you give it everything it wants all the time, you're not going to expand that rhizosphere root zone as much. It reminded me even of when I've read studies we feature on the show that plants' roots can hear when they ran an underground water pipe.
Yeah.
So when first they did it, that the roots would go for it, which blows my mind. But I agree, man. Try and go ahead.
It just makes me wonder about hydro, or not wonder, but hydro, you can grow a giant plant with a little 6x6 Hugo block root system, but it's being bathed in water or nutrient solution, whatever, 12, 15 times a day if you're doing that cyclical irrigation. The reason it is being bathed like that is so it does give a little bit of dryback. But still, hydro, you don't need it. You don't need a giant root system so much because it's getting everything it needs.
I mean, beyond expanding the root zone, it'll definitely also help with, maybe if you do fungus gnats, it'll help keep them at bay. If you keep it wet root zone all the time, you might have more pathogens that can come along. So the dryback is also a little bit of insurance. Now, in flower, it's a little different, right? We're trying to achieve not expanding the root zone, but then getting the flowers frostier, no?
Yeah, there is a stress response. What is it called? Abscisic acid or something like that. But yeah, that is supposedly if you give it, it's a stress response to the plant drying back. Don't forget, in flowering, the plant it knows it's going to die, so it's stressed out. So as and the response is to make skankier trichomes, hopefully to attack some kind of pollinator. So once it starts stressing out, it sends a response up to make more secondary metabolites, more terpenes, more trichomes, more cannabinoids. At least that's the theory.
I am drying back all the time in my grow system to the point where I need to get, an irrigation set up. If you're a straight cocoa grower or cocoa for like high performance media, you're going to definitely be dealing with drying back quicker, and it's a great media for it because it's very forgiving with the moisture content in the media in the root zones. So if you're going to really try to push drybacks or multiple dryback, I really like cocoa for it. Or if you're in a living organic soil, they don't like doing full drybacks as much.
We're going to go the wrong way if we keep taking in garbage into our country.
No, see what you're doing right there is you are charging him
Made this one,
with
but this
being
one's supposed to be
racist,
sad.
which makes that
But this
racially
one's
charged.
upbeat.
We spoke with one of the school's parents, Raylonda Grice.
I'm a parent of two black children in the school. They weren't affected directly, but it could have been, one of my kids. And every child desires a place, to be able to be comfortable and learn and not have to worry about whether or not their teacher dislikes them, the color of their skin.
The school located in Greenville is also looking into potential other racist incidents.
Oh, I bet they are now. I bet they are now. Virality will do
The
that.
last kiss. I think it's
Song about you and Kevin while his kids so close. So what?
You're trying away to ruin it.
What?
It's like what you and Tim
You
had.
don't like reality?
I know y'all had that last kiss.
Welcome to the infant program at New Horizon Academy. Together, you and your child's teachers develop a plan that meets the unique needs of your baby. This important, trusting relationship continues as your child develops and his or her developmental needs change. Our loving, caring, and nurturing teachers use a research-based curriculum to create individualized daily schedules and lesson plans to support your baby's development. In our cozy classrooms, you'll see teachers singing songs, cuddling, reading stories, engaging in conversations, using sign language, doing yoga activities, and playing with our babies. These activities are based on recent research and scheduled every day to maximize each baby's development. Every day, you'll receive information and updates about your child's feeding, diaper changes, sleeping times, and activities through our electronic communication program, which allows our teachers to chart your child's day, send messages, and delight you with photos via email. You're also welcome to use our electronic communication program to send your child's teacher a message. At New Horizon Academy, providing a safe and healthy environment for the children entrusted to our care is our #1 priority. We take many precautions to ensure
Okay, he been stretching that shit out for a good
from
minute.
secure campus
But
with
this
front
is the
entrance
original.
to had access codes, regular health and safety inspections. The infant classrooms
This is
at New
the
Horizon
original.
Academy
The other
are
one is
places
stretching
where
out like
babies
it's a
can
different
grow and
movie.
learn every day by exploring. Had them raise their hand during a Constitution lesson and reminded them that if it wasn't for the Constitution, they would still be her slaves.
One parent said her son came home disturbed after the class, and soon after,
It's like
other
Sam
complaints
Smith, right?
followed, including a report that a
It's like
white student called a
depressing.
black classmate the N-word.
And then the teacher responded by saying, when the black student tried to address it and asked her to address it, she said that, well, it's okay because they're all a little bit racist.
The school's principal confirmed a racially insensitive lesson had taken place, and that the teacher resigned following an internal review.
No, see, that was an external review. That was an external review, because the internal review is what y'all have been doing this whole time. When everything was said to be perfectly fine. That was the internal review. The external review was what got her dragged up out of it.
All over the years, every black parent walking the earth. Scientists yet again we having a problem with our white cohorts in the classroom. Yes, again, we have a problem with the people who are started on children's teaching being absolute racist. They got we to have a carefully. They got present work. I'm tired of these people teaching our babies. This shit has got to stop. You need to have that. You can resign and tell black people that once with the Constitution they were stealing her slaves. These are the same people who said black people teaching our children this shit. I don't even know what to say to that shit. Because I got to say,
You like that one better?
You know, to try to defend this shit. You watch. It's going to be so
It's not my taste, Denise. I think you know that.
racist.
You ain't never walked in here and heard me listening to some
You've
shit
got to
like that.
watch the teaching and truth. You've got to watch it over our babies.
Then why are you asking me?
This bullshit right here. This white supremacist, racist ass people.
Do I like white people?
Telling you the truth that they would be her slaves if it wasn't for the Constitution. I can't deal with this damn shit. Watch this around your kids, man. Seriously. Spread the word. Get this down here. You cannot have our babies going through this shit, man. Spread the word.
Well, considering they were on the internet defending the two boys from Texas that wanted to go to Haiti and enslave the women and children for their own nefarious benefit, considering they defended that, they would absolutely. They would have. This is like learning. Have it. This is like learning. And they get practice every day from this administration.
You don't know how to say I know my own lyrics, bro. That's crazy work.
The Constitution is made to be harmed. That's what I'm saying. You can start talking about the Constitution. Ratify them this name. This is what I'm saying. They did. So you keep calling yourself yes, I'm aware. Keep calling
I just lost, baby girl. I go up the hill, I go up the hill, take him to my side house. He don't know how to feel. Now he's talking to me. Here's me always see my face. Yeah.
Make sure he know that school not around here. Make sure he's hundreds of miles away from that kid. I don't want to come around here. Make sure. Go ahead. Go ahead, man. We'll meet you down there. We'll meet you down there. You got it. Okay. Yeah, let me know how that situation.
I get like this one, don't you?
But to where you started with this whole thing, talking about the Constitution, the idea that we would be first slaves without the Constitution, and we're all a little bit racist. When would that have been? Like, not all a little bit racist. When would that have been an acceptable thing to say? 1965? Okay. Okay, you step up there. Anyone else want to volunteer for slave? That's what you say. Okay, you can be a good slave. Anyone else? What you mean he would make a good slave? What you mean by that? Oh, he tall? I'm watching. Okay, you make a good slave. Now, who would like to be a master or a master slave? Who would like to be a master? Oh, come on, come on. Let's go. Susie didn't want no part of that. Susie sitting there like, y'all gonna get canceled. I'm telling you, no, no, because I'm gonna have grandkids after the 2020s, and this gonna look crazy. You know what I mean? Well, you not in Lamont. You can go up there. Ain't nobody gonna cancel you.
Applebee's 2 for $25 is taking your taste buds on a trip. One full-size appetizer like the new bacon cheeseburger wonton tacos. And 2 entrees for only $25. Only at Applebee's.
This is a story that makes everyone cry. Laugh cry, ugly cry, and definitely totally not cry. But it's okay. You can always blame it on the altitude.
Cancel you. Maurice? Come on, Shorty, let's go. Okay, you come on, let's go. Is this teacher black? This teacher... Where you going with this lesson? You start selling the slave, you should be the buyer. Oh, we got a revolt. Oh, we got a revolt. You all right? He will make good. Yeah. I like that. I like the energy. Yeah, this is a good performance.
You don't look out under me. Let me see a teeth. It's gone. You don't have to check on it on. It's gone.
Where did my mom learn that? Where did my mom learn? Y'all got Chinese at the services in 1965. Y'all need something up with Lamont. Oh, what you been watching?
It's gone.
Check him good now.
You gotta find it. How much?
The 60s was crazy. Honestly, the 60s was crazy. Hey, all my channel viewers, subscribers, members, all y'all that were alive in the 60s, I just want to say much love and respect. I ain't even know. I thought I knew because I watched the documentaries and stuff. But in the class, and the teacher a black teacher at that, just sitting there, just cheat. Guess what y'all was doing in the class? I thought it was bad when they talked about slavery when I was in school. Cause that's never been comfortable. And don't get me started with the other students.
Ms. Johnson, I have a question. What can we do to further help possible African Americans in our present day? Because you said something about how they were and it just doesn't sit right with my heart. And we do have possible African Americans in our present day and kind of world. And I just want to make sure that I'm able to be a good person for them. Yeah, that's my question.
I say his bottle's ripped up.
Oh, I've been there. The only good thing about it, you can get you a couple of extra chocolate milks. That whole week, you get a couple of extra, and it do be a week. We be through slavery in a week. At least that's how it was in the 80s. They got real fast when we started talking about that, and I'm wondering just how that will evolve. considering the kinds of lessons that are being imparted nationwide, I mean, Ron DeSantis got it out here standing in a summer camp. And we can only imagine where Oklahoma is at this point in time. I'm pretty sure they have been spreading the word that that's what originally involved into Chuck E. Cheese. Like, that's just what people would go when they wanted to have a good time.
To talk to them about it. I mean, I didn't do it. I wasn't involved in it. But I think what they're doing is I think that they're probably going to show some of the folks that eventually parlayed, being a blacksmith into doing things later in life. But the reality is all of that is rooted in whatever is factual. They listed everything out. And if you have any questions about it, just ask the Department of Education. You can talk about those folks. But I mean, these were scholars who put that together. It was not anything that was done politically.
And so the question becomes, what is the end game when you are pushing these kinds of lessons in the classroom? And apparently, in this particular instance, we have a teacher that was influenced by that kind of rhetoric, choosing to impart it to her children in a half-black charter.
When I was being schooled, we had spent an entire month on slavery. Totally get it. Terrible thing. But we spent so little time on the brilliance of the founders and what they created and the greatest political document in human history and what went into that. And it was an underemphasis on the heroism and the courage and the brilliance and an overemphasis on the evil and the tragedy and the horror without even the redemption arc behind it.
Now, wait a minute. So the redemption arc is supposed to be the thing that you want to focus on. Isn't Charlie Kirk the same guy who talks about how MLK shouldn't be honored by this country after leading the charge of the redemption arc of restoring semi-enfranchisement to black citizens? So the redemption arc of the civil rights movement shouldn't be honored. But we should push past slavery for the redemption arc of slavery. And you wouldn't give credit for that to Frederick Douglass or John. They would go to like the Abraham Lincolns. Yeah, Ulysses S. Grant, people like that. Gotcha. So basically, we should focus on the white savior. We need to focus on the white savior at all times, because that's what instills hope in America.
Sleep is simple. Just track your activity and exercise regularly with exposure to natural light. Or maybe you just need a little more from your mattress. And the Tesla case offers personalized comfort with customizable head and foot positions that can help relieve arm pain and alleviate snoring. Elevate your sleep at Ashley.
Never rush to sue the other driver after a car accident. There may be a much smarter way to get paid a much larger settlement.
After watching this video, I just got a huge flashback from high school. Okay, so my history teacher in high school, I remember this so vividly in class. She skipped about 3 to 4 chapters. So we were learning about slavery, about black history. There's nothing wrong with that, you know?
Where you going with this? It's nothing wrong with that, you know. Oh, I'm glad it's okay with you.
But I remember her saying, okay, we're just going to skip over these because it doesn't matter. We're just going to skip over these because it's just a bunch of crap. That's literally how she said it. And now that I think about it, I'm just like, how many school systems are run by liberals that think like this?
Run. This wasn't language arts, was it? This was history. It's hard for me to say because you didn't tell me exactly what it was that they skipped over. Were they skipping over slavery? Were they skipping over Reconstruction? Let me tell you, if we need your permission to study slavery, the Reconstruction era is not one that you want to delve into in any depth. I can tell you that right now. She was doing that for your benefit so you can continue to move forward and not understand the true depths that America has devolved into in the 1800s and early 1900s. That's some more bullshit. Which, by the way, she shouldn't have done. She absolutely should not have done that. No. You need to see it. You need to see it. Quite frankly, you're old enough. In fact, you're too old.
Don't you think it's important to read all chapters to understand the both is? And not only that, to understand what was the result of it.
Both perspectives. Now, when they covered the Revolutionary War, did they get the British perspective? Did they get the British perspective of the? They didn't get the British. Well, did they get the German perspective when y'all were doing World War II, or the Iraqi perspective when you started getting into the 90s? Did they get any of them quotes from Saddam or anything like that? They did. Oh, but when it comes to slavery, though, we got to understand the rebel perspective. That's what we got to. Liar! Oh, call it liar! You're liar! Nancy Grace also exposed Officer Tatum in 4K, live for everybody to see, right? That he's been lying in his Donald Law's case. He's just been telling lies. And he's been telling lies because, again, Officer Tatum is who we refer to as Raccoon Meat. Okay, he's an Uncle Ruckus. He hates his own people, right? And he's willing to do whatever he can do to placate to the dominant society. This is what he does. So when he sits in front of somebody who has experience prosecuting these cases, when he sits in front of somebody who has experience in how court cases work, in how homicide investigations work, he can't lie anymore. Also, his demeanor during this interview with Nancy Grace is a lot different than his interviews with Stephen A. Smith. See, when he does the debates with Stephen A. Smith, he's brash, he is arrogant, right? He's brash, he's arrogant, he's brash, he's arrogant, he's condescending, he's talking down to the people. You're dumb, you're dumb. But when he came to talk to Nancy Grace, when he came to talk to that white woman, the brashness, the arrogance, the condescending, all goes away. It's all gone. We don't see the same Tatum we see during the Stephen A. Smith debate when he's talking to his own. See, when he's talking to other brothers, he's talking down on them, calling them dumb. But when he comes to Nancy Grace, he is in hot. He looks scared, right? He looks like he's out of his depth. Now, here's the thing. You knew this man got embarrassed, got exposed, lost, whatever, quote-unquote, fake debate with Nancy Grace he had to say, because this was no debate. This was an interrogation. Nancy Grace destroyed this man. But he ran over to his channel to lie about the results of the debate with Nancy Grace before we even saw it, right? Leave it up to Tatum, the pathological liar. Leave it up to him. He smoked Nancy Grace, he cooked her, he won, and Nancy Grace actually conceded to him.
Black man will do what he's told. You're an unremarkable black man who they know they can count on to be obedient. They pick you for the same reason they picked off. What is very interesting to me is this is Nancy Grace.
I left to believe that he goes out swimming all on his own, and the friend girl leaves, the mates from school leave, everybody just leaves him out in the water and he dies.
And Nancy Grace is a career prosecutor. She has tried 100 felony trials, 100, and not lost one. And she thinks something suspicious.
Pause. You ignorant Negro, Neanderthal. I call you. You have no idea that I was on Nancy Grace's show today. Going over this very topic. Tune in and see what Nancy Grace had to say about what I said or her. Okay. See, he is so he said, tune in and see what she had to say about what I said. He's implying that Nancy Grace agreed with him. He's implying that Nancy Grace
lost whatever back and forth they had. He's implying he got the best of her. He's implying he walked her down. See, he ran to his audience to absolutely lie about what took place. Because he understood the whooping he actually endured. He was trying to get ahead of the story, okay? So he's telling the audience, tune in. Oh, no, we're going to tune in. We are going to tune in. Now, yeah, but he called him the party off. Now, here's the thing, but Tim do not identify as black, all right? Now, I prefer words like igamites, igaboo. Those words are words that I use for gang members and criminals because those are the worst of our society, all right? A gang member is nothing but an obstacle for black folks, right? Black folks, we live in environments where you have to overcome the gang. You have to overcome the gang environment. You have to overcome those obstacles. How many star athletes do you know got killed 2 weeks before going to college? How many star athletes do you know got killed at the hand of the gang? How many scholars do you know got murdered at the hand of the gang? How many kids before going to an Ivy League school got arrested on charges because they fell into the trap of the gang, right? So me personally, those words I reserve for gang members and rappers who mislead us. Tatum used this for all black people. Tatum used this for all black people, all right? For all black people. So Tatum is already trying to get ahead of it because he understands what's coming. He understands. Because I refuse to believe Tatum is this delusional that he actually thinks that he won that back and forth with Nancy Grace, okay? He's not that delusional. So he's trying to get ahead of the story, and he's already lying to his audience about the outcome of what took place with Nancy Grace. He got cooked.
About what I said on her show. Nancy Grace is saying conclusively that, and this is Nancy Grace. Nancy Grace saying things without context and evidence. She actually said, Nancy Grace said she hope I'm right.
What? Yo, I ain't gonna lie, yo. That's how you know, bruh. That's how you know this dude, Tatum. That's how you know, that's how, bruh, that this dude is just completely unaware. Tatum. Yeah, the entire world thinks people like you is correct. Yes. We want to believe that Nolan Wells was not murdered in cold blood. We want to believe this was just an accidental drowning. Why would we want to believe that he was murdered opposed to an accidental drowning? We're saying even though we hope you guys is right and we want to believe you guys, the facts and the evidence shows a different reality. Why do you think somebody's saying, man, Tatum, I hope you're right. I hope he wasn't murdered in cold blood. Why do you think that's a W? Yeah, we all hope y'all are right. We all hope that Nolan Wells didn't get to suffer at the hands of evilness before his death. What are you talking about? Yes, absolutely, we hope that. D-Nat says, attack his character. That's a fact. Tatum has been attacking Nolan Wells' character for the last week and a half. Bro, absolutely fact. That's a fact. That's a fact. So, Tatum, because he's such a grifter, he can't even begin to fathom how people would hope that what they've been predicting or the theories they've been given is not correct because ultimately they care about Nolan Wells. And they're empathetic to what this kid went through. And they hope, if that means them being wrong, they still hope that this kid endured the least suffering possible. Tatum can't even begin to understand why Nancy Grace and why other people like myself would hope people like him is correct, would hope that Nolan Wells didn't get murdered and didn't suffer. Because he's a grifter. He's a grifter. Tatum does not care about Nolan Wells. He does not care about anything that takes place. He cares about the check that white folks put in his pockets. That's just a fact. And Aquarius says, oh my God, call it live. We live, baby. Welcome, Aquarius. Welcome, okay? So, this is what he has to say, okay, about this. Now, let's wrap up what, like, the quote-unquote lies he's telling his audience about how that went, and then we'll get to the actual debate. Because the debate is embarrassing.
It's the Negroes can't wait to find a white person to disprove me. Talking about white people bad, but you want to find, first of all, you find a white person. Now, I respected Nancy Grace, but I went on her show and I gave context.
Okay.
Nancy Grace's statement that she played was from before she had any context about what happened. She said that the girl and all the friends left him on the island and he died. That's without context. So,
According to him, he came on the show, he checked Nancy Grace, gave her the context.
There are trucks, and then there's the 2026 GMC Sierra. It's the truck. Get 0% APR on this Sierra Denali. With informed pricing from everyone, that's over $13,000 total value.
Today is July 29th, 2026. Big question, is it okay for teachers' unions to pass a resolution that instructs its members to reject Supreme Court decisions and directives? Plus, transgender dolls for Minnesota kindergartners and all gender bathrooms in California schools, are they on their way? We're going to discuss it all right now on Parent Alert. Here we go. Take a roll clip. Hopping into a wellness check on Minnesota because apparently they are starting to roll out this fall taxpayer-funded dolls in public schools for your kids as young as 4 that have swappable, removable genitalia. Let your 4-year-old be reminded that they have options to switch. My gender dolls were developed over 6 years by a few professors at the University of Minnesota Medical School. The dolls all come with gender-neutral names like Sam, Rory, and Avery, and have over 100 different detachable accessories like a paper doll where you can switch their hairstyle or their outfit, and of course, detachable internal and external biologically accurate genitalia, because that's the most appropriate thing ever to put on a doll for a 4-year-old. One of the professors who developed these dolls said this about the project: everyone should be learning that there's diversity in gender identity and that what makes you real is not what your body parts are, but how you think and feel. She also said that she's already begun using these dolls with her patients who are between 5 and 10 years old. And just to be clear, a spokesperson for the University of Minnesota Medical School says not a dime of taxpayer money went to the actual commercialization of these dolls, but refused to answer the question how much money went towards the research and development of the project. Not us. The medical school receives over $15 million a year in annual state funding. And now, this isn't just a crazy fever dream by some wild woke professors at a medical school campus. On their website, they say these dolls are designed for clinicians and educators who show up every day with your kids. My gender dolls are built for the professionals who support trans and gender diverse children in clinical and educational settings, like pediatricians, school counselors, and educators and mental health providers. And if you happen to fall...
Oh, okay? And Nancy Grace bowed down, okay? So let's play what actually really happened, okay? Let's get to it.
Fear items may have been deleted. That's what's happening. There's been a lot of controversy. Were photos, were texts deleted, snaps deleted. We've been trying to figure it out, but we're seeing through a mirror darkly. We don't know. But according to experts, a trail will be left if anything has been deleted, even if you delete it from the deleted file. Now, joining us, special guest, Brandon Tatum. You know him. He's a former police officer with Tucson PD. That's what impresses me. What impresses a lot of other people is he is the star of The Officer Tatum. Officer Tatum, thank you for being with us tonight. Question to you. You interviewed, as we played at the get-go, several of Nolan's friends. Did they show you photos, videos, snaps of that day on Horn Island?
Now, here's why that question is important, right? Now, what you will notice during this interview, Nancy Grace is asking specific questions. Specific questions. Tatum does, if you're somebody who's not trying to spin a narrative, if you're somebody who's just answering the questions truthfully, you don't start off every question with, well. And the reason why Nancy Grace asked that question, if you guys want to know, is because Nancy Grace is being told there was no cellular service, which is why Nolan Wells had his phone on the boat, which is why Nolan Wells had no pictures on his Snapchat, no pictures in his phone. Nolan Wells had nothing. His device was completely clean from that day. See, all his friends have pictures, all his friends have Snapchats, but Nolan Wells had nothing. His phone was cleaned out because he has no service. He had no service. So they want you to believe that all the friends and Nolan Wells came to the island. And all the white friends did all the normal teenager things. They took pictures, they took Snapchats, they hung out with their friends. And then Nolan Wells, the only black kid, he showed up to the island and drunk and did coke and then died. That's it. You went from there was no cell service to there wasn't great cell service to there was service good enough to make calls but not good enough to upload to what they could upload if they was committed enough. These are kids who use Snapchat 24/7. You think these kids were not committed enough to post?
Yeah.
Come on, Tatum. Come
because
on,
I'm playing the game and she want me to do something.
Come on, sir. Come on. She was able to get this man to back down.
I started a match. I can't
and
what
get
you want
5
me to do.
different series in a 20-second time frame. From no service.
I said I was
to there was service, it's not great service. To oh yeah, they could upload if they really wanted to upload stuff. Oh my God, bro. Tatum, bro. Bro, we're only 3 minutes in.
It doesn't appear that would have been a frequent thing, given the fact that you probably had 1 or 2 bars out there. And I heard evidence of that. Not only did I see evidence of it when I went out there myself personally with my cell phone, when I listened to the CETO call, you could tell that the call dropped out several times. It seemed like they were having trouble at times hearing each other. So it is consistent. And anybody that travel out there that's gone to the 4th of July celebration, they know that the reception is not very great. So the videos that they showed me in call logs were things that were not associated to social media, that they never posted on social media. It was pictures and videos that they took on their phone.
Okay. Let me refine my question. I take it from your last answer that the answer is yes, you had reception on Horn Island.
Yes, I did have reception on Horn Island.
Walk him down, man.
We just played that CETO call. It's 2 words, SEATOW, and it's kind of insurance that people have that are boat goer. And if you have a problem, they will come and tow you back to the mainland.
Yes, ma'am.
They said they had a problem. They said they were taking on water.
Yes, ma'am.
One of your takes is that all the chatter that we're hearing, wake up Nolan, are you dead, Nolan, wake the F up, Nolan, could be referring to the battery, the builds on the boat, that it's all unclear.
Oh, now hold on, Auntie. Hold on, man. Is Auntie watching our live streams, man? Is Auntie Nancy watching our live streams? Because we already walked him down. You're about to realize something that we've already talked about. See, if you watch the live stream, you understand Tatum only sounds smart to dumb people. When Tatum is talking to people he thinks he's smarter than, Tatum is brash, Tatum is condescending. In this interview, Tatum is submissive, he's quiet. But when Tatum responded back to the audio, we went over it in this video. What Tatum said was, when he hears get up, when he hears the other things we heard, such as he's dead or oh my God, Nolan, Tatum says they could be referring to the panic going on with the boat sinking. Somebody in the comment section, you let me know if this was you. You said Tatum is implying the boat name was Nolan. Nolan, is you dead? We sinking. Nolan. So, but Tatum was saying this confidently because at the time he wasn't talking to anybody. He was just looking directly into the camera, talking to an echo chamber, right? But now he's sitting in front of somebody with some sense, and he has to explain the absurdity to her. He has to explain all the absurdity, everything. And he comes across as goofy.
Music is the foundation of my marriage, and music plays a big part in my law firm. In law school, I met my wife. I joined a band that she was in. We have 3 beautiful daughters, and they all sing and play piano. Nothing is more important to me than my family. We have something called Singspiration. Every morning, the law firm gets together and we sing together. to rev ourselves up, to be passionate, and bring out everything that we have to offer the community as personal injury attorneys. Experiencing a personal injury is never easy. My brother was a victim of medical malpractice. Going through that experience, I think that really prepared me for helping the people that I represent. I'm going to take you from the beginning to the end and put you in the driver's seat. And you're going to feel like you have someone there who's a friend and a guardian.
I was making a right-hand turn, had my blinker on, and a truck hits me. Getting hit by a truck is really a scary experience, and I really didn't know what to do. I ended up in the emergency room. I couldn't get anybody to help me because I was out in the country. I felt alone. I felt like I knew something was wrong, but I didn't know what to do. I got James on the phone, and I felt comfortable. Whenever I've come here, everybody's kind, everybody's upbeat. I got here, and they started singing. They started laughing and singing, and they're like, hey, come sing along. And I'm thinking, is this a law firm? And in fact, it is. And it's a really good law firm because